Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Happy Victory Monday. And what a victory it was. Just a phenomenal day going back and watching that game. So many great moments to pick apart, talk about, dissect, then laugh at the 49ers. You know, normal Monday behavior. So very good. And it was kind of fascinating to watch Josh Jacobs post game talking about how he knew what this game meant to his teammates because the way this 49ers team ushered them out of the playoffs last year. They've been waiting a long time for this one. And I got to think, Josh is a bit online. He knows what it means to the fan base. He saw throughout the week how this really felt like the need for an exorcism of a ghost that has haunted Packers fans for years. And it's also funny to watch that the little bit younger side of the fan base has really grown a healthy hatred. I'm not going to say dislike, a hatred for this team. Man, some of the stuff I saw after the game online last night really made me laugh. Some really inappropriate stuff, but I get it, man. I was there in the 90s with the Cowboys. So I completely understand the hatred, the frustration, finally being able to let all of that out. And a big reason was because of Josh Jacobs. I mean, what an addition to this football team, and the way that Matt LaFleur has really leaned into that addition, the way they have committed to the running game in a way that really hadn't been apparent previously in his kind of experience here in Green Bay. You've absolutely loved how it's become their identity. They don't need a quarterback to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I love those kind of games, but I also love this approach. I love the identity of this team. They are going to smash you in the mouth. They're going to possess the football and score points. And if you make mistakes, like the Packers, go to the 49ers into a couple of times yesterday as far as forcing turnovers, they're going to make you pay. And pay they did 5 times, 5 red zone trips, 5 touchdowns. That is the definition of complimentary football. You absolutely love to see it. Now, turning around on a short week against a Miami Dolphins team that is playing really good football. This is a very, very good test. And look, if you have to play this game, I don't think anybody's under any illusions that this is a very tough turnaround. But if you have to play it, which the Packers do, I'm much happier that they are playing this one at home and not having to get on a plane like the Dolphins are, switch climates almost completely, and play in this game. So hopefully that portends good things for the Packers on Thursday night. Thursday night, it's crazy. We got our first injury report already today on Monday. Thursday games are against God, but money is greater. So they're gonna play it, and the Packers are gonna show up and they're gonna ball out. Hello to everybody in the comment section. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody, all the regulars chiming in already. Before we get going, you guys know the drill. I got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com and use code CHTV. Spend $5 on lineups and get $50 instantly. Prize Picks is available in 43 different states, most importantly, including Wisconsin. Big game tonight. I'll have my picks later on my Twitter account. Make sure you check that out and send me your lineups. I love you guys sending me your lineups. I got a bunch yesterday. Join in the fun. There's a link in the description of this video. Use code CHTV. What's going on, folks? We got super chats already up in here. We got Max, a Carry the G Club member. Thank you for the support, man. I'd like to applaud Matt LaFleur for his effort to continue getting the ball to Josh Jacobs' hands. It's clearly been intentional, and it's working. I do not doubt for a moment that he has really bought into being able to feed a workhorse back in a way that Matt has never done, whether here in Green Bay or even his 1 year as a play caller in Tennessee when he had Derrick Henry. He's never really operated this way before with a bell cow that he is willing to feed 20 plus times. It is fun to watch. Like I said, it has formed their identity. I am all in. I really like it. Ed, what's going on, man? Time to turn Flipper's smile upside down. I love it. Here's the other component that will be fascinating to watch on Thursday night with this Dolphins team. We've heard a lot about the Packers' youth. youngest team in the league, etc. The Dolphins, kind of the mirror opposite. They are much older. Lots of 30-somethings on this team. I have to tell you guys, when you get older, that cold, it starts to wear on you a little bit more than when you're a younger man. I'm fascinated to see how, guys hold up in the cold. So maybe some body language starts creeping in after halftime. Old men don't like running around in the cold. Old man in the cold game incoming from the Miami Dolphins. Dennis, thanks for the super chat. We going undefeated? I don't know if you know this, Dennis, but they have lost games already this year. So no. But if you mean by the rest of the way, they could. They absolutely have the ability to. Certainly the upside is there, but a lot of ball game left. Let's beat the Dolphins. Peter, how are you, man? Thanks so much for the super chat. Amazing systematic beatdown, Aaron. Can you explain why only 48 of the 53 can be active on game day? And can you please play the Carry the G jingle? I can. Well, essentially, it's mostly because the owners are cheap. That's your short answer. You have a 53-man roster. 46 is the game day, 48 if you can elevate. But yeah, the Players Association has fought long and hard to expand game day rosters. And maybe with the new collective bargaining agreement negotiations on, I won't even say the horizon, not even around the corner, but in a few years, hopefully that's something they can accomplish. But essentially it's because the owners are cheap. And I know there'll be a lot of other people maybe chiming in like, no, it's this or that. No, it's because the owners are cheap and they want to control costs as much as they can. As far as the Carry the G jingle goes, hey, give the people what they want.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
Shout out, Jason. Outstanding work. Love that jingle. Could listen to it all day. So good. Golden Finn, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Taymor, thank you for the super chat. Do you think the coaching staff accepts the fact that the receiving core simply drops balls, thus this is a run-first team in terms of identity? No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. They're not sitting there going, well, we're concocting this game plan, and there's obviously a coverage weakness that we can exploit, but sometimes these guys drop the ball, so we're going to run it. No, that's not what's happening. I do think their ability in the run game helps open up things in the passing game. Still very frustrating when guys drop the ball, no question about it, but that is not going to change how they approach what they think is the best way to beat a team. Yeah, I don't buy that for a second. Nathaniel, what's going on, man? I got to say, the X and Jacob signings are kind of working out. I mean, it's not too shabby, right? When the Packers do dip their toe into free agency, they seem to do a pretty good job of it. Now, I know there are lots of folks who wish they would do a lot more of it, but I don't mind them being selective and finding guys, especially like these two who are coming off their first, part of their NFL life, so to speak, at other franchises. That's always been kind of a Ted Thompson, now Brian Gutekunst's concern about how will you fit in the locker room, in the culture of what they're doing here in Green Bay. But I think you actually heard Tucker Kraft talk about this. Josh Jacobs mentioned how special it is in Green Bay, coming from the Raiders in a very different situation. I think once guys get here, they do buy in, especially if they're on the younger side, like X and Jacobs are. But yeah, I think they're working out pretty well. Pretty well. We got that one. Amy, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. I'll be there Wednesday. Cannot wait. I haven't seen a loss at Lambeau in 8 years. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Oh, well, the good luck charm is coming. Thank you, Amy. So we don't even need to worry. It's good to know. Abdul, how are you, man? Hey, Aaron, all year we've been expecting the offense to take it up another gear because we thought our wide receivers would take a step forward this year and develop. Do you think they have, or did you expect more? I think it's been inconsistent. No question about it. The drops are really frustrating. But I know you're probably sick of me saying this, but it is 1,000,000,000% true. I've said it repeatedly, and I'll say it again. Development, growth, call it whatever you want. It's not linear, never automatic. You have to go through things to learn from them. And that's what the Packers wide receiving core is certainly doing. And I know it's frustrating, but at the same time, they are still making amazing plays. Malik Heath's touchdown yesterday is teaching tape. That's an amazing play by a guy who hasn't played a ton, right? And as frustrating as Romeo Dobbs' drop was, he also made killer third down plays. You got the good and the bad. You're going to take those. And just because they have those rough moments doesn't mean they're also not doing really good things. You probably forget about those or dismiss them because you're so fixated on the things that frustrate you. But that doesn't mean they're not happening, because they most certainly are. Look, no more perfect example than Christian Watson. Last week, absolute hero. This week, the GOAT of GOATs, as far as people pointing fingers and saying, how could you drop that football? That's life in the NFL. That's what you've got to iron out. Those are the things that separate guys with talent and really good to great players. Guys who do play at a high level consistently, down in, down out, week in, week out. These guys are still learning how to do that. And again, I know it's frustrating. But no, am I surprised by it? Not really. I said all summer, and I said at the beginning of the year, growth, development, call it what you will, it's never linear. You're going to take your lumps along the way. Joe, what's up, man? You think the cold affects the body or the mind more? Well, the body feeds into the mind, doesn't it? Yes is probably the answer to that question. I think it is mostly mental, though. There's no doubt you've got to go out there and play along with everybody else, and who handles it the best as far as their mental makeup and the response to it, it's probably the one who's going to play better. Adrian, what's up? What chances do you think there are of a new CBA being negotiated before 2030? Adrian, I know I've seen reporting around kind of trial balloons, right, from both sides, indicating there's a willingness to maybe dive into that prior to the expiration of the CBA. I don't know how real that is, but I got to say, it does feel like there's an expectation that it's going to happen. Now, that's just a feeling. We'll see how it transpires over the next few years or so. But I think there's more. I'd be more surprised if it didn't happen at this point. I think both sides want to see that happen. We'll see how it plays out here in the next few years. Gino, Dolphins are going to hate the cold. Maybe, but I will say they're probably, I know we heard Tua say it at the post-game presser there yesterday, he's looking forward to killing narratives. No doubt the narrative being they played in a very cold game in the playoffs last year in Kansas City, came up short. Oh, this team can't travel, play in the cold, etc. I think they're going to be playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder to prove that they can. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to automatically happen, right? But I do not doubt for a moment they are coming focused and ready to party in the cold. That is going to be a big, big kind of watch point for them. Killing narratives. That's what they want to do. Ian, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. At Airport Nags, it was a blast this weekend. Thank you and the whole family at Cheesehead TV for everything. Hathaway is doing God's work. The good Lord himself. Ian, it was great to see you, brother. Thanks for coming out to the meetup. Good to see you at Appleton on Friday night. Safe travels home. Tell the family I say hello. Ryan Willie, thanks for the super chat. Enjoyed being at the game with family. Planning on getting to an early season game next year. Hopefully the construction will be done. As you can see right behind me, there's scaffolding still up. Bunch of construction going on, but it's kind of almost always ongoing. So I don't think you'll be clear no matter when you come. There's always projects happening, right? But yeah, I'm glad you got to come, and glad you got to see that game, because what a fun game to be at. Chad, what's going on, man? I received a message on Facebook during the game from an old friend I haven't talked to in years. Are you the Chad Mache from Cheesehead TV? I know I got that wrong, didn't I? I'm sure you are, Chad. There you go. You mentioned on our watch party yesterday. Last son of Krypton. Thanks for being a Carry the G Club member. Hey, Nags, last few minutes of the game, they let Hopper get snaps, and he immediately sheds a block and makes a play. They have to get him more snaps. I loved what I saw, but that was, I'm not going to say garbage time, but it was very much game well decided by that point, and I don't know exactly how into it maybe some of those 49ers players were, but I will say, yeah, I could see him getting out there and getting in the mix a little bit more. I know Jeff Hafley was asked about him last week prior to the 49ers game, and he did say you probably could expect to see more of him as the year goes on. So I'll also flip it around and say I think that's probably going to coincide with The fact that Hopper has been, you know, talked about a lot. We've heard a lot about kind of, let's see what he can do. It seems like he's been practicing well. Edgerrin Cooper still probably not going to play in this game on Thursday because of the hamstring. Quay coming off his best game of the season, no question about it. So I don't know how easy it is for them to suddenly turn around and take him off the field. But I think there'll be some packages where he'll start to hopefully have opportunities to make an impact. Krista, it's not that cold. Krista, it's not that cold right now. Supposed to be like wind chill. What's supposed to be hanging around like 20 degrees on Thursday night? Check back in on Thursday night. It's going to be cold enough, especially if you're from Miami. Or if you're indeed from New Orleans, like my girlfriend is. I told her to bring her winter coat. She didn't bring it. Now I got to buy her a winter coat. It's going to be fun. Stoney, what's going on? Excited for our defense against this offense. Hope we can prove what a real defense looks like as a familiar face comes back to town. Hashtag Joe Barry. Yes, the linebackers coach for the Dolphins, former Green Bay Packers coordinator Joe Barry, will be in attendance. I'm sure he'll be greeted warmly by the fans in attendance. Yeah, I don't know. This offense can cook, though. I mean, Tua is a trigger man in McDaniel's passing attack. They certainly have some really talented running backs. I don't know, man. This is gonna be a stiff test for Halfley's group. William? How are we feeling about the back-to-back Thursday games, Nags? I'll take it. I mean, no doubt you kind of hope for the 10-day kind of variety where you get the 10-day turnaround after a Thursday game, and then it's rather than just a week-to-week Thursday game. But they'll get that coming out, and I don't doubt for a moment that trying to find that semblance of normalcy after Thursday's Thanksgiving game and trying to set the schedule as quote unquote normal as possible will be one of LaFleur's, biggest priorities, because guys are a creature of habit and they want to stay in a rhythm, especially in the middle of the season. So, it's what the NFL has tasked you with, and everybody has quirks in their schedule that they have to overcome or deal with, what have you. This is just the Packers to deal with. You got to line up, you got to play. Abdul, what's up, man? Is Saleh still helping us, or was that a 1 week thing? No, he's been in the building most weeks. He hasn't been in every single week since he made his first appearance, but most weeks he's been in the building. Matt LaFleur was asked about it last week, and he said still, pointing things out, giving suggestions. Asked about a specific play that he could point to, possibly. He said the play in Chicago where they hit Watson up the left sideline, where he kind of pauses and stalks the linebacker and then releases out for a big gain up the left side. That was specifically something that Saleh had suggested against that look and against that defense. So, yeah, no, he's still in the building during the week. He doesn't join them on game days, but still around, still helping. Jab, what's up, man? Am I crazy to think Myers is earning a second contract? Didn't love the Jenkins experiment a couple of weeks ago. That's interesting you brought that up, because I saw Jacob Monk was a healthy scratch again. That's happened a couple times this year, and more than a few people were like, well, the rookie can't even dress, and clearly they're not ready to move on, and this means they'll probably bring back Josh Myers. But I don't know, man. You got to pay Zach Tom. Rasheed Walker's working himself into an extension. Are you going to extend Josh Myers as well, when you do have a guy that you drafted specifically with the idea that he could play center for you? I don't know. I mean, only they can answer that, but I suspect the chances are still pretty good that Myers walks. And I'm not saying that because I do think he's played his best ball, and I think he's easily having his best season with the Packers. But at some point, you can't pay everybody, and you're going to pay your tackles before you pay your center. And I do think Monk has the opportunity to be really good. I don't read much into the fact that he hasn't dressed. I really don't. But we'll see. Who knows? Sean Ryan may kick over to center at some point. He went there as the number 2 center for a lot of the summer, and in the preseason, he got a bunch of snaps there. Maybe they like that. But I don't think it's automatic. Now, look, I would love it. You guys know I've tried to be really open-minded on Josh, and I try and point out when he does good things, because I feel like he's been a bit of a whipping boy for the Packers community, at least online. But yeah, man, at some point, it ain't show friends, it's show business. And the business would tell you they're going to pay their tackles before they pay their center. We'll see. We'll see. And who knows? Maybe they have somebody in mind, much like they did with him when they selected him after letting Corey Linsley walk. Maybe there's someone in this upcoming draft that they really like and expect to land. We'll see. Yeah, Joseph just said it. Sean Ryan is a heck of a center, too. Absolutely. He played really well at center this summer. No doubt about it. Give Myers that New York Giants GM treatment. Look, I mean, like Runyon's in New York, right? Playing on a 4-year contract after the Packers allowed him to walk. I wouldn't be surprised if Myers were allowed to hit the free agent market. I do not doubt some team would sign him. No question about it. Brett, what's up? I feel like some teams the last several years actually embrace the cold when they come to Lambeau. I very much agree. The mystique is gone. Everybody knows it. And other teams want to lean into it to say, look, we're not afraid of it. We actually play better in this than you do. And until the Packers make some kind of concerted effort to turn that around, it's going to keep happening. Maybe it starts happening on Thursday night. We'll see. Joshua, are you going to any other games this year? Well, I'm not going to any games, actually. I didn't go to yesterday's game. I was here doing watch party. And I'm not going to Thursday night's game. I'll be here doing watch party. But I will not be in town for anything else other than the Super Bowl. Whether the Packers make it or not, I'm going to New Orleans. So I'll see you in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. All right, buddy, I have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Patreon members, Carry the G Club members, thank you so much for coming to the meetup on Saturday. It was a ton of fun to meet so many of you. Really appreciate your support. And speaking of support, if you are a member, happy hour is tonight. That's right. It's very early this week because of the Thursday game. Tonight, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. The information is on your pages. Make sure you check it out. Everyone else, please hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.